And welcome to this special episode of from Spotlight Publishing in celebration of our wonderful author, Kirk Fowler. Kirk, welcome to this presentation.
Well, thank you very much for having it. I appreciate it.
Oh, you know what? We are celebrating. This is Kirk's book. It looks like it's backwards on there. Does it show backwards, Kirk?
Yes.
I
That's
have to
okay.
figure out what setting to make it turn the other way because on Zoom it doesn't. It's the perfect way. Anyway, it's 21 women who changed the world from the beginning of recorded history till present time. Kirk, it's been so fun to work with you on bringing this gorgeous book to the world. I absolutely adore the cover. I think the cover is just really amazing. Whatever possessed you, what motivated you to write a book of this nature?
Well, I thought about all the kind things that women have done throughout history, not just for me, but throughout history. And their patience and their love and wisdom. And, I remember I listened to my mother and aunts and grandmothers for information, then school teachers, and now my daughters even. I listen to them, so I learn from them. So it's great.
Uh, you went to eat. What I really have enjoyed about your book is you really had a fresh way of looking at the lives of these women all throughout history. You started with Eve and you came forward into even the present time. What in the writing of this book, how did you come up with this selection of 21 women that you chose?
Well, I did a tremendous amount of research, and of course, you could write about hundreds or thousands. And I thought, well, these appeal to me, the people to know what women have contributed throughout history, not just in the local news, but
Mhm.
throughout all of recorded history, and their bravery and their kindness and their courage, and it just I thought people should know about it and be aware of it. You know that's important. I mean, it's one of the greatest things that ever happened to me was having a mother and a
Mm.
grandmother and aunts, and I said, wow, I'm so fortunate.
Well, and you have three daughters too, don't you?
Well, I have two daughters.
Two daughters. For some reason, I was thinking I heard three.
Uh, Well, I have three children, but two daughters.
Oh, okay, awesome. So, can you talk in specifically about maybe one or two of the women that you wrote about? Who was the one that just really struck you as really making a huge impact, and why did you choose that lady?
Boy, that's a good question because they all affected me that way. Uh, kind of, I liked Annie Oakley. I knew about her from a child, and I'd heard about her, didn't know anything about her except she was a great shot. But all the kindness and the things and the courage, she got banged up, she overcame it every time. I mean, that's amazing. And I see women like in the present time, like Rosa Parks, who helped change our nation for the better. And then, gosh, Suu Kyi, that lady from Burma who spent so many years in jail, and she could have left and led a good life, but she's still there fighting for her people, and that really impresses me. And I just think people should be aware of such things and understand. Be grateful for it. I mean, you know, when I was a little kid, and I'd stub my toe, I'd run to mommy, mommy. I mean, I wanted that love and protection. That's a
Right.
natural thing. That's
And
been
Dad
that way
would
for
say, "Oh, be
history.
tough."
It was that way thousands of years ago. It'll be that way thousands of years from now. So just
Right.
things people should be grateful for.
Well, I
It's
think that I agree. There are many women throughout history. You chose a very interesting variety of women and the things that they've done and how they've served. And in today's world, we see it every single day. Through of the journey that women, because typically they're the caregivers, and I'm not saying that men are not caregivers, but what I'm saying is usually they're the ones that are the nurturers that take care of those things that make that wonderful balance.
Well, yeah, they taught me how to eat properly, how to dress, how to take a bath, how to, read and write. And my mother helped me learn to drive a car. And, it's just one of my aunts helped me learn to drive a car. She had so much patience. I'd be there doing what a kid does, and she'd very politely correct me. I was, oh, boy, so lucky to have her for an aunt.
Aw. And so, in in your book, you have Annie Oakley, you have Maria Montessori, um, Martha Ray, Clarissa Barton. There's the Mary, Mother of Jesus. And what's interesting is you said this is way above my pay grade.
Well, it is. And I've, my favorite song of all is Ave Maria. And sometimes when I've been in some place and I heard that, I could really feel her presence. I don't know how to describe it. It's so beautiful and so peaceful. And oh, wow. I can't explain it. But I'm just grateful for it.
Well, we in the book we put a QR code where you can hold your you can put your camera on your cell phone and take a snapshot, and it opens up with that song playing, and it's just a little extra special. That song is one of my favorites too. It's just simply such deep meaning behind it, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous song. So, Kirk, what did you do? What have you done throughout your life? I know you're retired now, but you're still working. um, what's been your career in the past, and what are you doing now?
Well, I'd start off, I grew up in New Mexico, way out in the middle of nowhere. Nearest telephone was 36 miles, and I
Hmm.
lived in town at the time. Got out of high school, joined the Navy. I grew up a lot. I was grateful for that, and went to school. And then I joined the Border Patrol, worked on the Mexican and Canadian borders, and INS investigations in New York and Los Angeles. I changed over to the Drug Enforcement Administration, where, well, I just traveled a lot. And one time I was in charge of all of Mexico and Central America for intelligence, and same thing for a 7 state area. And and I've worked with state and city and county law enforcement and all around the nation. I've taught at DEA's International Training School, and I teach Ki Aikido. It's a very, very spiritual martial art, and it's one based on harmony and understanding, and it's not a brute force kind of thing. And it's the most amazing thing is how easy it is if you do it right. Just to be in harmony. And being in
Mhm.
harmony, I remember being up at the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and they had somebody talking about Navajo rug weavers and how they have a feeling of harmony before they even start. Sometimes it takes them 30 days to get that feeling. I thought, wow, that's really incredible. And those rugs are so beautiful, and they all tell a story. I mean, it sounds so wow. Just something else in life to be grateful for.
Right. So you actually are working on a video series and some other things for teaching this, especially to older people. Are you not?
Yeah, yes, we are. It's called Aging with Dignity and Safety. It's available now, or will be the next day or two. But it teaches you you can prove things to yourself. You don't have to take our word for it. You can assume that we're bald-faced liars and go out and check it and prove it to yourself. And just how your thoughts affect you in a positive or a negative way,
Mm,
and
so true.
how to move in a natural manner so that you don't fall, and how to be more aware of what's around you. And that's really important, particularly as we get older. I mean, sometimes I'll go to the shopping center, I'd see people pushing a shopping cart, and they don't even know if there's anybody else there or not. They just walk across. I mean,
I know they don't look either way. You don't have
no.
to be an older person to be that way.
Oh, I know. No, I agree. And so it's a way to live with safety and dignity and get along better with everybody you come in contact with. It's just like sometimes I'll go to a restaurant or something, and some people don't ever say please or thank you.
I
Why don't you
know.
say please or thank you? Somebody's doing something for you.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, that's just. You know, who's that guy that said doing to others that you have them doing to you? I mean, it's life is full of ways to advance and become more knowledgeable and kinder, and hopefully a little more wise and able to help people, to be kind to people, and do things that that's going to improve people's lives. I think that's really important.
It's such an important, um, it's so important to, in the sense of when you treat others right and you're aware of your surroundings and you pay attention to what's going on, it really transforms even your own experience of life, and the enjoyment of life. But still, there's that human decency and that kindness that is just so very, very important.
Well, I was raised women and children first. If I got on a bus and it was full, I'd stand up and give the seat to a lady. I was raised that way. I believe strongly in that. I think that's so important to understand. It's just a way of showing respect for people. To me, I think that's really important.
It is. It's very important. I'm putting the link for anybody to get this book here in the chat, because the chat goes out all over the place. So, um, so the beauty of it is that you live by example, and you still are staying very active in today's world, and providing and giving back and making a difference in every way you can. And I know that you have lived really quite an illustrious life of a lot of work and a lot of travel, and you've lived at numerous locations throughout the United States and even into Mexico. Where else have you lived?
Oh my goodness. I've lived in the Far East temporarily and in Canada temporarily and South America temporarily and all over the United States and in the Philippines. And it's a I can truthfully say when I was in the Navy, I was one of the few sailors that can say while on board ship we ran over a Jeep. And people say, "What are you talking about?" They think that we were anchored off Iwo Jima and the tide turned. There was a Jeep that had been sunk, I guess, during World War II, and we ran over the thing and bent a screw. So fortunately, we had Quinn screws, because if the screw's out of balance, the ship starts going like that. So you got to shut them. I can truthfully say I'm one of the few sailors that's ever done that, and it's
Oh, what an experience. Well, I want to congratulate you, Kirk, on this beautiful book. And it's not a huge book, so if you pick up a copy of it, it's available as a Kindle and also in print book. But take the time to read it. It's not going to take hours and hours to read this book, but really reflect on the roles these women have played throughout history. And I know Kirk could have had probably an encyclopedia about that thick of different
yeah,
women and
yeah.
experiences, but and to whittle it down into the type of into which who you wanted to showcase must have been quite a feat to be able to bring, to really distill it down into the showcase that you're making with this book. And one thing I am so excited about is that I have had so many comments today, not only about the book cover, because I do a lot of promotion for your book on launch day, not only about the book cover, but the title and what that implies. And the comments have just been fantastic. So, I'm very honored to have been able to help you with this book and bringing it to the world in the way that you have. Honored to have gotten to meet you, and just your kindness, your generosity, your spirit is just simply amazing. So thank
Well,
you.
without your help, this never would have happened. So thank you, Becky. I appreciate it.
No, it's just all wonderful. But just enjoy, savor the fact that it's another accomplishment in your life, and what a beautiful contribution to our world for this beautiful book. And there's this is just the start. That people get a hold of this book. There's been so many positive words that have resulted from this.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I said, without your help, this never would have happened. So again, I'm
Uh,
grateful.
well, I enjoyed working with your daughter Marie too. It's been really really sweet. She's a sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, be sure and pick up a copy. We put a copy or a link in the chat. It's also on our Facebook page. And if you want to share this video interview out to people that you know, be sure and do that. But 21 Women Who Changed the World by Kirk Fowler. Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you. Appreciate it.